Hey everybody, Mason Taylor here. I'm actually coming to you from the Longevity Now conference in LA. I think the sign behind me is a little shiny, you can't really see it, but that is a sign saying the Longevity Now conference. And this is it's a conference revolving around one of my mentors, David Wolfe, and pretty much bringing the most cutting edge health technology and insights from around the world so we can have the best life ever, best health ever. And it was interesting, last night I found out that one of the world's biggest pharmaceutical companies that produce majority of, or a big chunk of the vaccines in Australia and around the world are also having a conference here at the same time. And last night they were in this bar, kind of just like getting into it, and it sparked me because I said that I would do a talk on this issue of the no jab, no play and no pay little campaign that's just been passed in Australia about a couple of weeks back. And I said I'd do a video, and I kind of didn't do that right away. I kind of let it cool off a little bit, and I've just been here at the conference, and I just went and saw the food babe, and she kind of like breathed a little bit of that activist energy into me. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to post this video, and it really got sparked as well. So I started thinking about it again last night, because I'm here at this conference and it's like literally a collection of like some of the healthiest people from around the world. It's like everyone's inspired and like really getting passionate about like making their way through this the cultural challenges we have, and all these challenges that kind of like suppress our health, and rising above that, getting super responsible and having like really generating some powerful health for themselves. And I was looking at all these executives and employees of this pharmaceutical company last night in this bar, and I couldn't help notice there was like very little vitality in them. They were just most of them were like heavily overweight, and it's not the fact that they were like in there having a drink. Fine, they were like, you know, just in there having a good time, but they were just absolutely like sinking the alcohol, and just a very different energy. And it just made me kind of go, all right, I'm gonna get to this video. No jab, no play. This first came out, I think it was the Daily Telegraph came out with a campaign, bunch of editors at a newspaper that happens to have ties to pharmaceutical companies, but I won't get into that. Come up with a campaign, no jab, no play, where they want to not allow children who haven't been vaccinated into preschools. That's somewhat been passed, and then finally what's been passed now is benefits to families and mothers are going to be cut if the child hasn't been vaccinated. And so they're going to kind of like get those mothers and put them into an arm twist and an arm lock, and just like back them into the corner, and it's kind of bully them a little bit. And so I just want to shine a little bit of light on it. I'm in no way massively pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine. I kind of don't consent to fanaticism in this in any way, or a dogmatic approach. I just kind of like having an open mind around it, and digging in, having dialectics, and looking for what the best possible outcome for us and our health really is. And since this issue is around immunity, and especially around like what they call herd immunity, in my line of work, what I do is I work with immunity and the immune system, and developing the immune system. I say developing a badass immune system so we can navigate our way through this world and not get hit with the degeneration and parasites that are just infesting everybody. And so I kind of sparks my interest, because it's kind of seen in the mainstream that there is only one linear way to develop an immune system strongly. Now, this isn't necessarily about like super pro, super against vaccines. I just kind of want to, it's actually specifically at the mothers who are kind of been backed into a corner here, because that's who I'm thinking about right now. Mothers who are kind of like just started thinking, hey, like maybe there's another way to protect my child rather than inject them with a bit of like a chemical cocktail, which in my experience now, I've been like in this field for a long time, many doctors have admitted to me that they won't even inject their own children with, because they don't trust what's in there. They don't actually know what's in there. And some mothers kind of like just like they pop a little bit, and they just kind of make the choice. They have the freedom to make the choice that they want to explore other options. And so then what they do is they then look at like, what is the immune system? What is this beautiful living organism of the body that we have, and how can we naturally and organically create an immune system so that we can fortify ourselves and fortify our children? Now, that's a very responsible thing to do. And then to then get backed in a corner with any dialectic. I mean, I'm talking about the fact that there are in journals, in medical journals and health journals, there is data showing the effects of particular medicinal herbs like reishi mushroom and what they do for the immune system, and what good bacteria and protocols to heal the gut do for the immune system, even hydration, what these things do for the immune system, and the results are far more effective and astounding than the results that are coming out with the vaccine. They're really kind of blowing them out of the water. Yet then, like, the mothers, and this is especially what I think, why isn't that been spoken about? If the true priority here is immunity and herd immunity, why aren't we looking at bringing the most beautiful, chemical-free, hydrating and living water into the children's lives? Why aren't we looking at getting out additives that are known immunosuppressants, like the common wheat that is in every food that we eat, the soy, the additives, the immense amount of chemical crap and just like the chemical overload that's in the food. It's kind of like, it's known now. Like, it's known that many of these are carcinogens and many of these are suppressants of the immune system. So I just always have to question, like, if immunity and the well-being of the children is really what the priority is, and that's what a lot of mothers ask as well, then why isn't that been at least rolled out with this no jab, no play vaccine campaign? Everyone needs to start asking themselves that. For a lot of you out there, and for myself, like, it's kind of really obvious, but you know, we're talking about like a real, like, big scale. Let's start all really thinking about that, and then kind of getting in, like, all right, like, when we kind of start thinking from that point of view, you can kind of see I've just been having my photo taken here. I've shot in the middle of longevity conference because I want the living energy of this conference to be breathed into this video. The paparazzi's arrived. It's a very important subject, so the paparazzi should be onto this, because even when you're like really super pro-vaccine, you should be thinking about this. Why the people that are pushing the vaccines that have in the literature, knowing that things like gut healing protocols and herbs like reishi mushroom are super immunological and like have shown to keep out the pathogens and the viruses and the parasites that cause these things that everyone's so scared about, why aren't they being pushed with it? Why don't we have like you know, no reishi, no play campaigns, and kind of like just start like opening up your mind a little bit to that concept? And you know, if I don't like going either side of the fence, it's not black and white. Now in this comment thread, it's going to be a lot of black and white opinions, like. And that's fine. You're at where you're at, but especially when I'm talking to the mothers, like, just stand back and sit in your instincts. Like, it's not a black and white issue. Have a lot of compassion on yourself and just start to allow yourself to kind of like just to take in the information that's out there and make decisions that you're comfortable with and that feel empowering to you. And at the same time, I kind of really feel for you as well. If you're being like, I know a lot of mothers have come to me asking, like, they're backed into a corner. They're going to have their childcare funding cut, and they really actually can't do without that. And I'd like to present some solutions. So if anyone has solutions, like groups where everyone's coming together and being still very organically conscious of building the immune system of children, not just cutting out one way of doing immunity and then just going without it, not being conscious and intentional. No, but being super intentional about creating immunity and creating groups where everyone can, like, who's in that position can get together and support each other. Then look, post it in the comments below, support each other. It's a time for the community to kind of come together and respect people's choices, because I understand there are people like pushing this no jab, no play campaign that are kind of like somewhat well-intended, I think. Like, a lot of people well-intended, of course. However, there's a lot of sinister stuff going on there as well, I think, in the background. But like, let's all just have a little bit more compassion and open up the conversation a little bit more and just support people's choices. And let's support the fact that we live in a free country and not hide behind this whole, like, well, you know, like, if every single person isn't vaccinated, then we're going to get sick. Because like honestly, just think about it. Like, if you're vaccinated, you're fine. Like, you like, if it's effective, you're fine. And just in my personal experience, just in the line of work I'm doing, it's just like person after person, mother after mother coming to me who hasn't vaccinated, just being like, my child's like the only one that isn't getting sick. And I'm not saying anyone like to just take that and run and make that a blanket rule. Like, Mason's an anti-vaccine person, and he told me just never to vaccinate. I didn't say that. Like, I'm saying just be discerning and just like talk to people and like don't ignore anything. Like, there's other opinions the other side of the fence, and so like don't cut anything off. Just be very open, and let's kind of like band together as a community, not black and white, non-fanatical, just have discussions and dialectic and come to a better outcome for everybody, so we can all build really strong immune systems, that we don't have to compromise on our health or our freedom at the same time. So I really appreciate you listening to this video. Sorry it took a little bit after this no jab, no play crap rolled out, and mate, I'm kind of glad a little way that like the fire's kind of like dwindled a little bit around it. So hopefully we can actually have some beautiful discussion and you know, maybe share some studies and support each other in this, and share, like, you know, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, let's just share and just come to the desired outcome. So I'm Mason Taylor. Again, please like this, share this, help me get the information out there, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with lots more videos like this. I'm going to go and continue to have the best time ever at the Longevity Conference and get the most cutting edge information about health and immunity from all around the world, and I'm going to bring it back to Australia in a couple of months with force, and it's just going to be awesome. So I'll see you next time.